When you think John Wick director with swords, yes, yes. Let's go. Come on. All right, guys, with that down, we are moving on to our next topic, which we're getting into some Highlander action. Now, I'm not familiar with Highlander, but we talk about him, seems like on every show. Mr. John Campia, my man, says he loves Highlander. And the way he has described the franchise that came out, I want to say 80s, 90s era, it sounds super interesting. And the fact that we have my man, Chad Stahelski, directing this from John Wick. Holy cow. I am I'm levitating, David. I'm gonna levitate out of my house because I love Chad Stahelski and I love John Wick so much.
So
With
as
that
you're
being
reading the article, you just start to rise.
yeah.
Just rise all the way up. Outside the chimney. People recording you. Oh my gosh, look up in the sky. And
And I'm just like, Chad
screaming,
Stahelski, guys, come on. It's Chad.
Stahelski. It's
He's doing
filming Highlander.
Yes. All right. So Henry Cavill released images, first images, which instantly remind me of John Wick. I mean, like this right here looks like John Wick to me. But Henry Cavill teases these first looks at Highlander. So we got there can be only one. If you're referring to the day of the first Highlander images appeared online, that's right. Highlander fans leading star Henry Cavill took to his personal Instagram this morning to share the first two official images of his long gestating Highlander reboot, which is now in production. Now, which is interesting because Henry Cavill was just in an accident late last year. I think he broke his leg. It was because of this, and now he's back. So good to know he's all rested up. And again, I cannot wait for this, mainly because of Chad Stahelski. Yeah, we also got Russell Crowe in there who plays Ramirez, which I think is some sort of mentor to Henry Cavill, which Henry Cavill is playing Connor MacLeod, and Ramirez is like his mentor in a way, which is interesting because you think to the film Man of Steel, Superman, you had Henry Cavill as Superman, and you had Russell Crowe as Jor-El, his father. So you get that reunion, which is awesome, and you get Dave Bautista coming in to play. I think his name is the Kurgan, which I think is the main villain. So Dave Bautista, always a great time. Coming out of the Guardians trilogy and other films, it seems like he's getting better every time he's acting. You also got Jeremy Irons in there, Jaimon Hansu, Kieran Gillen. So you have some MCU people in here, which is pretty funny. Oh yeah, we're getting into the world. We're getting into the world of Highlander. So we got our two images. We got that one and that one. We'll start with this one. You can see the mic up top. It's kind of funny. So that's clearly just a set photo, but like beautiful for a set photo.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like John Wick to me, which is glory in my eyes. But so what's really cool is that the Highlander is like they are immortal, and so Henry Cavill plays this immortal being. So I guess he's been on Earth for a substantial amount of time. And the way the Highlanders are, I guess the saying is there can be only one. So there's always this some sort of, and I'm sure people will correct us, there's always this big battle that takes place, or where each one of them are kind of facing off, and there can be only one. And over the course of centuries, I guess, of being alive, they know so many different styles of sword fighting. And so Henry Cavill had to learn multiple different versions of sword fighting, which is super interesting. And when you think John Wick director with swords, and that's what people have described this film, it's like, if you think John Wick with swords, this is what you got. I'm like, yes, let's go, come on. I'm so amped, man. And for these first look images, for the style of it, this right here screams John Wick to me. And I brought up an image of John Wick 2. I mean, come on. Very similar.
The aesthetic, the colors,
the frame.
The frame.
How it's framed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always love how John Wick ties on those. I mean, what would you call it? Just like vintage, ancient, other country type architecture. European, I guess, Middle Eastern, all that stuff. Because John Wick has gone around the world, and man, it's always a fun time. But I mean, to think John Wick with swords, I'm all in. David, what do you think of Highlander? Are you interested in something like this?
This is really interesting to me. So you mentioned that Henry Cavill's character has had to learn different styles of sword fighting.
Well, I'm saying Henry Cavill himself has had to learn.
Uh,
So thus the character knows multiple styles of sword fighting.
so the premise is that he's an immortal being. Highlanders are immortal being. He's
Mhm.
a Highlander. They all know different styles of sword fighting.
Sword fighting, yeah. And I guess, I mean, because I know there were two Highlander films, or might have been three, but I heard after the first one, it gets stupid, comically stupid. But the way the mythos is set up is apparently really intriguing. So of course I've not seen the first Highlander, so I don't know. But from what I hear, it sounds great. And to reboot this with Chad Stahelski coming off of the John Wick franchise, I feel like he knows exactly what to do with franchises and make them exciting, make them interesting with the lore. Because I mean, what's super cool about John Wick, not only the action and just Keanu Reeves himself, but the lore behind the high table and all the different interactions with how he gets his weapons, how he gets to different hotels, everything around that, even with the film Ballerina, which I love, came out, last year, just dove into the world of John Wick more. And I think a director who knows how to handle that and handle that successfully comes into Highlander and reboots it in that light. Like, let's go, man.
Really enveloping the viewer in the world, but they feel like they're picking up on hints or little things that make it more interesting. That's really cool.
Yeah.
There is a where you're talking about the premise. It sounds somewhat similar in a way to the very popular anime that just had an amazing, very, very profitable movie last year, Demon Slayer. The main premise of the action fighting from the human perspective is they have a different styles of sword fighting, different techniques, look different, do different things to fight the demons.
Okay.
So honestly, this shot reminds me a lot of Demon Slayer, especially the movie Infinity Castle. Kind of the lanterns in the background and the candles on the bottom. The colors remind me of the Infinity Castle
Hmm.
very much, and also the what he is wearing is very similar to what the Demon Slayers wear in terms
Okay.
of their costumes. I guess it's animated, so not in costumes, but their character design.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, you're getting me excited for this, and I'm excited for this. For it looks like live action Demon Slayer, which would
Right.
be, which I'm thinking that into my mind, which would be really cool in my
Right.
mind. But it's also live action. It's also John Wick with swords, which is like really really cool. So excited on multiple levels for this.
Absolutely. I think we're gonna get a visual spectacle too. Because what's really like low key, uh, a champion of the John Wick films is the cinematography. They really know what they're
Yes,
doing. They're
yes,
super intentional. I mean, like when I think back to do you remember the whole catacomb sequence in chapter two? Where it's
yes,
cool because like he plants his guns at certain spots, and then when he gets to
yeah.
those spots, he takes them out. And it's just like knowing how to. I mean, like they all know how to navigate that camera and the road that camera's going to go. Like, it's almost like the camera goes on a journey itself
Hmm.
throughout certain sequences, like especially in John Wick Chapter 4 when they do the overhead shot, the dragon's breath, just holy cow, just the idea of that and executing that at such a high level and having it work is so impressive. So to think they could do things like that within a franchise like this, I'm super excited, and it's cool because it's like they're tackling similar things like John Wick with the action, with probably the lore, but there is like a fantastical thing about this too, because immortals are not real. So to dive into more of the fantastical within this franchise sounds really exciting, and
Hmm.
cannot wait to see what Chad Stahelski has in store for all of us. I think so. They're shooting it. So they're shooting it right now. I think it's coming. If I had to guess, maybe late next year at the earliest. But we shall see. Super excited for it. Let us know, guys, if you're excited for Chad Stahelski's Highlander.